to try to determine which films or television programs have had any impact on my writing is very difficult because I don't go to the movies and I've never owned a television. So we can pretty much exclude them, although I did see Psycho in the 60s. The writers who have influenced me, I would like to think, are those who have helped me develop a prose style which is clear and within the confines of coherent English prose. But that's Thackeray and Dickens as much as it is Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler or Ross MacDonald. I think that the crime writers who have influenced me in any way, probably Ruth Rendell, because I admire what she does so very, very well, and I admire both her plotting and her characterization, and the beauty of her prose. Because to read, this is the book I'm stealing from Random House, to read her prose is to bask in language at its best, and her plotting is always impeccable as well. My favorite scene or line from a crime fiction book is, they both come, there are two. They come from Ruth Rendell's Judgment in Stone, which I think might be the most perfect crime book ever written. The opening line is, Eunice Parchman killed the Coverdale family because she could not read or write. So you have the murderer, the victims, and the motive in the first sentence. And then with mounting horror and terror, you read 250 pages of explication of that fact. It's an absolutely brilliant book. There's a minor character in it called Ruth Smith, and late in the book, the narrator pauses and observes, "It is difficult to know what Joan Smith would have done with children had she had any. Eaten them, perhaps." That's why I admire her prose as highly as I do. The only tip I can give to budding writers is that they read. I think that if someone asks the question, how can I become a famous or a competent basketball player? I would say, go watch people play basketball and watch what they do and then try to do it. Until you see basketball played, you have no idea how to play the game. You can read the rules, but they don't mean anything. And I think there's no difference between that and writing. You don't know what writing is, what good writing is, unless you've read a lot. And then you develop a sense of what is good writing and what is not good writing. And until you've done that, you're just hopeless because you don't have a clue about how to put the sentences together to make a credible or believable, or to be vulgar, a buyable book. And the advice I would give is read and start with the good people. Start with Baroness Rendell, start with Henry James, start with Jane Austen, start with Dickens, because Dickens will teach you how to plot a book. The prose is a little bit antiquated in 2013, but Dickens is a master. He'll teach you how to write characters, how to describe people, how to set up a comic scene or just a sob-racking, pathetic scene. There are few writers as skilled as Dickens. Read them and you'll learn how to write well. Ebook or paper. I don't have an e-reader. I have no desire to have an e-reader. I've been offered them and I've said no thank you, just as I've said no thank you to offers of televisions and radios. Books, paper. You can't break it, you can drop it, it won't break. You can drop it in the tub and it will dry out eventually. You can take them anywhere, you can take them on the beach. You don't have the problem of whether the light's right or whether there's too much light on the screen. The page is always the same. The light can come from there, the light can come from there. It's portable. You can put it in your suitcase, it won't break. There's nothing like a book. Not diamonds aren't a girl's best friend. A book is a girl's best friend. If I were a fictional character and I had to write my death scene, or if I were the narrator writing my death scene, I would use that old chestnut of a line, "She died quietly in her sleep." if I were concerned about eating in the hours before my death, I suppose I would like pasta. Maybe pasta with, I don't know, tomato sauce and maybe zucchini with a lot of Parmesan. That would be a nice way to go out.